What's up, guys? I'm here to talk about Just Inspire Mentoring's our Six Circles to Purpose. We're doing an after-school leadership pilot program for grades 6 to 8, as well as grades 9 through 12. I'm going to talk about the overview of what that program is. This is a structured leadership development framework designed by Imwa. All right, and the purpose is to guide boys into disciplined, confident, purpose-driven young men. It's a 6-week program. We'll meet on Saturdays. All right, this program combines mentorship, chess, strategy, training, social emotional development, leadership, as well as social etiquette, which is something that I believe, if we're being real, not just our boys, but even some of our adults are really struggling with, okay? Social etiquette is not just how we socialize, but doing it with class, higher level, okay? Because sometimes how you show up is going to be an indicator for the rooms that you are gained access to, okay? And again, this leadership application, exercises to strengthen our identity, our character during these critical molding years, especially middle school. All right, this program is designed to align with any school's social emotional learning objectives, as well as support positive male identity development during critical adolescent years. And I cannot harp enough on how intentional this program is with me at the helm of it. So one of the things that I think is important to know is that when we're putting people in front of our young people to teach them about behaviors, education, any of that stuff, I got to challenge you. The people that you're putting in front of them, are they qualified to do that? Again, not only did I go to Johnson Wales in North Miami, I went away for college. When I was getting my my bachelor's, my first degree, I didn't just go to school and have fun. I was actively engaged on that campus trying to make something happen for myself. I chased my dreams. I tell people every time, ask your aunts, uncles what they went to college for. Ask them what they're doing now. Does it correlate? Now, yeah, I'm not working in sports right now, but I did have an internship with the Miami Heat the year they won the championship. I did make relationships with sports agents, so I may not be working in my field, but I have the experience. Some of you went to school for one thing, and if you look at your resume, you don't have anything that relates to it. You went to school for culinary arts, you work in a hotel, and you don't do anything in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is something questionable about it, because if you decided to do something this way, why did you pivot here? I didn't pivot. Well, at least not exactly. I went after the things that I wanted. Unfortunately, you need a lot of support to really make dreams come true. And that's why we have Just Inspire. I wasn't fortunate to have that kind of support, but I'm here to make sure that you can get that support so these things can come true for you. Talking to people that chase their dreams is important, because if you're trying to chase yours, oftentimes we're not surrounded by people that have experience chasing their dreams. And so what happens is you're talking to people that settle, and people that settle will pass settling values on to you. And that's why like 90% of adults settling, they're not doing what they meant to do, they're doing what they had to do. Okay, I do what I have to do too, but I also do what I want to do. And I'm telling you one thing, I do not do what I don't want to do. That's something I don't agree with. Everybody can't say that though, because everybody's not willing to take that stance, But again, when I was working on my bachelor's, I was getting real experience in my field. All right. Once I graduated, I went into the workforce because I had to provide for myself. All right. I didn't come from a family where I could come home and there was a room waiting for me, and no. I had to figure it out. You know what I mean? I tell everybody, if you got a home that your people are really with you, man, and supporting you, and it's a positive environment, if you can make it, do that, because there's a lot of costs that come with it. I've been spending money for rent since I was like 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean? I'm 40 now. You know what I'm saying? 20 years. That's a mortgage, right? Exactly. And I've been having to demand that price for a long time. And I'm going to tell you something. The price that I pay for rent is probably more than what a lot of people paid for their houses, those that have bought properties in the 90s, 80s, 70s. So a lot of times we look at people older than us and we think that they're this magnificent things. A lot of times they weren't that magnificent. They grew up at a time where it was more attainable. Like I know I got family members that bought houses when I was in college. When I was in college, you still could find property for under $200,000, and so the mortgages for those properties are less than the rent that I had to pay for apartments. Which means that when I've been all my life, my 20s and 30s, while people were talking trash, I've been paying the cost that a lot of people that talk at me couldn't pay. All right, but again, that's why it's important that you know how to validate and you understand where the people are talking to in front of you, where they're coming from. And so again, I just want to reiterate that, I speak about your futures because when it comes to chasing your goals, you're looking at one of the best men out there that does it. I made it a lifestyle to chase my dreams, and I get them, irregardless as to what's giving me or what I'm afforded to. I still chase them, and so you can too. When we talk about college and career, are you talking to people that have experience with college and careers? I don't. Not only do I have my bachelor's, I got my master's in higher education administration, and guess what? I did research on improving Black and brown male graduation and retention rates. What does that mean? That means that I actually studied and did real research on what you need to create an environment so that Black and brown boys can be successful at a college. So, if I did that research on how to be successful at a college, you don't think that's good information for someone at a high school in which you're trying to graduate kids that can go to college? Maybe it's a coincidence that while I've been in Maryland, all the young men that I've worked with are in college, most of them with free rides. Maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it's I'm prepared to do that kind of work. Perhaps if we had more people that were intentional in these spaces supporting our young people, they could have better outcomes too. And that's what I'm trying to do here at Just Inspire, Don't make it hard on yourself. Help is here.